Welcome back, everyone. New Mutator here. It is going to be the Winter Series Finals match between Dantski and Giant Killer General. Those are the two team captains, each fielding a team. It looks like Giant Killer General able to field a few players more. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. 9 players on his team, so I guess that's his entire roster showing up here, while Dantski having a little bit of trouble fielding his entire roster, but still, let's see, 7 players. I guess it's okay since the maximum number of players you can field in a game is 7, I believe, anyway, right? Am I right about that? I hope so. This is all right, so the finals are interesting because I've noticed that every single game, every single map for the finals is a third-party map, so you have to download them, which means that we're not going to be seeing any standard Bungie maps in the finals. It's going to be entirely, and you know what? I even forgot the name of this map. Oh well. But this is going to be the first game. This is game one. Let's look at the trades really quick. And both teams are starting out in the north and south here. It's kind of an interesting spread. And the flag placement is a little bit interesting also. So most of the flags are going to be in this middle territory. It is territories, the name of the game type. So both teams going to be trying to fan out and tag by the game's end more flags than the opposing team. Looks like pretty heavy on Thrall here for Giant Killer General. He's going to split those amongst Paladise, DAC, and Punk User. We can see that a lot of the a lot of the players for Giant Killer General have changed their names. And you know what? Paris actually. Oh, okay. I didn't notice this, but Paris isn't actually playing. He's the tournament organizer, and for some reason he decided to observe by joining Giant Killer General's team. So that's interesting. Wasn't really aware of that happening ahead of time. So yeah, it's going to be pretty heavy on the melee. 3 of these warlocks is going to be basically all of the artillery, and then of course some pus, I'm assuming, or maybe sunken whites. Now that I'm looking at it, nope, probably pus because there's enough goals there. A lot more warlocks. Looks like double the warlocks here for Dantski. Not nearly as much Thrall. Only 3 Thrall here. So that's going to be interesting as well. And also going for 3 whites worth of pus. And
Game on.
oh, maybe more. 6? Yep, so maximum pus for both teams here. And so this is going to be interesting. I'm kind of curious to see how this plays out. Giant Killer General, I mean, their strategies are diverging even before the game begins. Giant Killer General going for a heavy melee strat centered around maybe sinking Thrall in the deep here. This water is just not moving at all. It's so static. But that's what you get when you play third-party maps. You get a lot of variety, you know, in how the maps are made and things like that. And sometimes it doesn't resemble anything that you're used to. And then Dantski going for basically just a heavy artillery game. So it's going to be curious to see how that plays out because warlocks are kind of limited by their mana bar, as you can see that blue bar there. So they basically get 2 shots off immediately, and then they have to essentially wait while their mana bar reloads. So that, I don't know, maybe Giant Killer General has something to do. Spread out, be ready, surround and converge together on one side. So yeah, he wants to basically divide and conquer this map. And it's going to be curious to see if Dantski is going to be able to put up much of a fight against that. As divide and conquer is pretty, it's pretty good. Pretty good strat. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and introduce some of these players really quick while I have a chance. Dantski, Master Chief, I believe that's Honky, Kruniak, Browning, K-Size, and Milkman's going to compose the team for Dantski here. Giant Killer General has this Observer, Paris, he's the tournament organizer. Adrenaline, Evil Jake, Eastwind, who I'm not sure. I guess Eastwind is observing too. So 7-on-7. Dak, Paladise, Merc, and Punk User. So Paris and Eastwind opting to observe by joining Giant Killer General's team. So that's kind of a first. I don't think I've ever seen that in a tournament before, or tournament finals, I should say. Anyway. Okay, so let's look at the spread here on the map. We can see there's a number of units here in the, I guess that's kind of like the middle-ish area, this little peninsular area, sacrificing that thrall to kind of get some, maybe some scouting info by sinking it. So we can see there's a lot here. There's also a little bit over here and here. So for Giant Killer General, he's also moving south with these units here.
Flag captured.
And I guess that he's going by himself, basically going to take some undefended flags and maybe put Dantski on the defensive by going in his backfield. But we'll see what happens. Dantski has this force here,
Flag
Milkman
captured.
and Kruniak, basically with that there. And then we also have on the bridge, we have Little Skittles, who I'm assuming that's Dantski, and Honky backing him up, as well as K-Size back here as well. Then what? We got Master Chief basically holding on to this flag. We got Browning over here, who's basically holding this flank here. By himself. I'm curious to see if Browning retreats to maybe Master Chief. if this force maybe collapses due to being surrounded, maybe I don't know. I'm curious to see how this works out. For Giant Killer General, we got Evil Jake basically moving in. We got this force here, Adrenaline just sitting there, waiting in the wings, as it were. He doesn't want to be scouted, so he's basically trying to stay just out of range, I'm guessing, although maybe he's moving in now. Very curious. We also have, it looks like Paladise over here,
Flag captured.
and Dak and Merc and Punk User. So that's going to be the forces there arrayed basically across this river. We also have, interestingly enough, Merc sent a Berserk, slipped it through the defenses there, and he's going to be basically waiting to tag this flag later on. I don't know, can he take these two Thrall Elites? It's going to be interesting to see if he can do that with just a single Berserk. There's also this Puskul that slipped through as well. Some more Thrall being slipped under the water there. Let's see if Browning is able to do anything. Punk User is going to see if he can maybe sneak a shot in, but he's going to retreat real quick. Another shot being exchanged here. Looks like that goal went down, so losing a Puskul is not very good for Dantski's team. Oh, that was curious.
Flag contested.
Looks like Giant Killer General is going to be moving in. At this point, a Pus does go down, but there's nothing there to clean it up, as he is getting sniped there by Mercadon. He ends up throwing down the wall there, so he's basically, no, he has a little bit of mana, but does he have enough for a shot? I don't think he does, and he's going to get sniped there. Anyway, so it's still pretty close, but I'd have to say that Dantski's team is in a world of hurt at this point in time, as this is all Giant Killer General right here, and this is basically all Dantski right there. So Dantski's cut in twain. K-Size trying to do something, another wasted Pus there. And some Thrall sticking their necks out. Still pretty close when you look at the numbers, 81 to 77%, about a 4% spread. But here comes another Warlock, so Punk User moving in with that. We also have some shenanigans happening here. We got Adrenaline
5 minutes
and
remaining.
Evil Jake basically trying to move in on Kruniak's position. Kruniak is essentially taken out of the fight. Unfortunate that that did some friendly fire damage on his own units, but I guess that'll work for now. But he's basically running into a trap, essentially. Looks like Honky gonna lose that Warlock. I don't see how he's gonna hang on to that. As uh-oh, Giant Killer General, nice block there. Basically, instead of taking the hit on his entire melee force, he sends out a single unit to take that sacrifice. Some more friendly fire damage, oh, he is able to survive for now, but it looks like K-Size is going to try to run in and maybe finish sniping that Warlock. Some more stuff going down. It looks like another something was killed. He was able to snipe that Warlock, but probably is going to lose. No, yep, he does end up losing that unit. Couple of Heron Guards go down, and this K-Size's Warlock is basically in danger here, as he needs to basically... Oh, nice pus there. It only manages to freeze one of those. So yeah, K-Size needs to run out. There's an engagement happening here. It looks like Dantski's team able to basically clean up right now in this area. But on the other hand, you know, it's still pretty close. It's 48-50%. They are going to go ahead and try to snipe Dax Warlock, and they do indeed get that. So I don't know if there's any Warlocks left for Giant Killer General's team or not. Dantski's team is still up in flags, 47-42%, 4-4 flags, but they tagged the most first, so they're essentially in the lead, I believe, as of right now. Looks like Merc wasn't able to utilize that Berserk, and those two Thrall Elite were able to take him out pretty handily. Some more Thrall, basically. Uh-oh, this could be a nice Thrall trap on Browning. We'll see how this works out. Some pus goes down, but that was a huge waste. Those Thrall Elite are super fast. Man, they can catch up to that Warlock, it seems. Really interesting wall there. Does get a couple of kills, but also some friendly fire. As really, these units need to move in. Whoever this is, Honky and Master Chief, you guys need to come to the aid of Browning. Like, Browning is unfortunately running away from his team right now. And he's basically being pursued by a lot of these units here. So that's not really too good for him. He is going to get off another wall, probably. And there it is, but it hardly does any damage at all, unfortunately. And actually, Punk User has a Warlock, so that's going to be the last remaining Warlock there for Giant Killer General's team. It is 28-25%, so Dantski's team does have a slight edge as of right now, and they do have a few Warlocks. Kruniak was able to hold on to his. Couple of units here. Kruniak, I guess, didn't see them. Wasn't able to get a shot off in time. So there are a couple of Warlocks here for Dantski's team.
Flag captured.
But Giant Killer General's team just has more units at this point in time. A lot of Thrall and just melee scattered around the map. So it's their game to lose, since Dantski's team, their unit trading points are basically funneled into these high-cost units like Warlocks as of this point, what's left. So they're going to have a little bit harder time fanning out across the map and staying mobile enough to be competitive in this late game. So it looks like Mercadon has a couple of these. He's going to be charged with holding on to this flag. These units, if they get there in time to reinforce this Master Chief here, they might be able to take this flag from Mercadon, but with a little bit of micro, Mercadon might be able to take that and hold on to it. So it's basically 5 to 3, 5 flags to 3 flags at this point in time. I think Giant Killer General is going to not really engage too much, although they are going to try to take this out.
Flag contested.
Take out
Flag
Milkman here.
captured.
Milkman with a nice
Sudden death.
nice ring
Flag
there, but
contested.
I think he's pretty much
Flag
doomed at this point.
captured.
Oh,
Flag
and very close,
contested.
but Mercadon was not able to take that flag.
Flag
Really close to
contested.
taking this flag. Can Dantski do it?
Flag
He
captured.
does. He is able to take this flag, so really interesting. Dantski, can he hold on to this flag, though? I don't think so. It's going to be really hard
Flag
for him to hang on
captured.
there. But he is able to take another flag elsewhere. And yeah, they need more here. He
Game
basically, you saw this berserk run off the flag, and the reason for that was Browning realized that Donski's team was in the lead and that they didn't need to contest to take any more flags. So he stopped contesting basically by running off the flag to end the game. And because the sooner they ended the game, the probably the better for his team, since they wanted to end it at a point at which they were ahead. So actually, Donski's team was able to hold on and win here in game number 1 in the Winter Series Finals. So very, very curious end there. I thought for sure Giant Killer General's team was going to be able to take that in the end game, but I think so many of their units were tied up in this kind of middle area that they weren't really able to fan out the way that they wanted to. They do have some units over here, but really, yeah, I mean, kind of a little bit too far away. Giant Killer General was contesting, I guess, the flag that's over here, but he had to walk off as he was chased away. So there were some units that were kind of in transit, but weren't able to get there in time. This flag over here, I think, was pretty much. Let's see. This flag here wasn't really contested at all. In the end, anyway, it was just kind of too far off to the edge, the side there. Mercadon wasn't able to hold on to this flag. That really would have helped his team a lot, obviously, but really close. Almost was able to, but it looks like Master Chief was able to come out ahead, albeit barely. And Browning had some units up in the north, and Kruniak also was able to take this flag. So it just looked like although Giant Killer General's team was able to control this middle area, they weren't able to send units out to the fringe like they wanted to at the end. So the win does indeed go to Dantski. We'll see what happens from here in Game 2, but first let's take a look at some of these players. Looks like Browning did exceptionally well for his team. 14 kills, 10 losses, 72 damage, and Milkman actually posted high ratios as well, 13 kills and 5 losses. Players that didn't do so hot, well, I would have expected Kruniak to do a little bit better, but he still managed positive ratios. And actually, most of these players managed positive ratios. The notable exception being Dantski himself, only 1 kill and 10 losses, but I guess that's to be expected for a lot of captains, although probably not Giant Killer General. Yeah, we can see here Giant Killer General tends not to take defensive units, he tends to take offensive units, so he manages to post better numbers than most captains who take it upon themselves to watch the defense and things like that, and basically suffer losses that just take it for the team, I guess, in the beginning, initial stages. Giant Killer General, almost positive ratios here, actually got higher damage than anybody on Donski's team, 84, and Mercadon actually got the highest damage in the game with 97. And what's up with Eastwind and Paris, man? They didn't get any, they didn't get any kills or damage. Just kidding. So Punk User didn't do so hot, and Adrenaline actually surprisingly didn't do all that great. Paladise actually did worse than Punk User, but got more kills. That's pretty curious. But Dak and Adrenaline didn't get a lot of kills, but 43 and 41 damage is actually not that bad when all is said and done, because let's compare the damage for both these teams. 345 to 344. That is super close. And as we can see here, Giant Killer General's team only 41 kills to 62 losses, whereas Dantski's team 55 kills to 52 losses. So even though the damage was roughly equal, we can see that Giant Killer General's team had more units to lose than Donski's team, because look at the surviving units. 11 surviving units for Donski's team, 22 surviving units for Giant Killer General. And you know, if we remember, most of those units are probably the Thrall Elite that are, I don't know, just scattered around the map. But Thrall Elite, pretty interesting unit. Only costs 1 unit trading point, I believe, and a lot better than regular Thrall. Anyway, that's going to be it for game number 1. Join me in game number 2 as I cast the remaining games of the Winter Series Finals. So, yep, see you there. Good game, by the way.